We on?
We're live again.
Welcome, July 10th. Beautiful day in Buffalo today.
You'll notice we're inside.
Well, we did conditions kind of melted our camera last week. Well, your show last week. I was on
Yeah, where were you?
special assignment, checking out some things. We'll get into that later.
Okay.
Nice interview, though, with Uncle Sam. Did a nice job with that.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. Great guy. I couldn't get a word in edgewise, but
You kind of let him take over the interview. You needed to be a little more forceful with him. And seemed like he was having a problem with his mustache or something.
that's what you think happened?
Looked like it, anyway.
That I let him take over?
He seemed to be like telling you a lot of stuff well, since you asked, but I didn't really hear you ask.
I didn't ask. That was the point. I think the guy, he might have been a little high. I'm not sure.
He had a glossy-eyed look, though. I will say that he kind of
did.
stared through you.
He did.
One thing, talking to him afterwards.
Yeah.
I did watch the show. It was a great show, by the way.
Appreciate that, I mean.
Watching the show afterwards, Sam was telling me the roundup of the parades and stuff, and it's kind of funny though that people in this country, a lot of especially young kids, have no idea what that is. Uncle Sam. He was saying that during the parade he was being yelled, "Hey, Abe Lincoln," "Hey, Donald Trump," Santa Claus. Now maybe to the refugees, but But the whole idea, and he was a little taken back.
What about
by
the
that.
lower my taxes?
Well, another character, right? Another guy yelled, "Hey, Sam, lower my taxes." Uncle Sam isn't the president or government. It's a symbol of the American spirit. And as he explained, Sam Wilson was a farmer back during the War of 1812 from Troy, New York, who was feeding the troops kind of on the sly. And would mark the containers for the troops Uncle Sam, so they knew it was coming from Sam. It was food for them. So it's a patriotic spirit,
Yeah.
and it's a shame that little kids have no idea staring at it. But another appalling thing that I found
Well, maybe
out,
teach them in school, but go ahead.
another appalling thing I found out last week too was in a discussion with some young people, they don't stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and they can't be made to. That's absurd to me.
Lack of respect.
To me, you should want to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And all of us should be an Uncle Sam.
Yes.
The patriotism in everybody. What is the problem here with this?
I think the thing that bothers me the most is, we live in a country where, like every other country, there are some things that are great, some things that you'd like to fix. But the bottom line is this: where would you want to go? If you're an American and you're bitching and moaning about everything, where do you want to go? You want to go to England? You're going to have social health care, right? Your teeth are going to turn green within 2 years.
They don't believe you wanted to buy razors because they really don't shave.
No.
Did you see some of this?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, it's ugly. And then, you could be over there and be taxed to death. 25% tax, on everything you buy because they're social medicine. Anyway, I could go on and on. But the bottom line is the United States, if it's so bad, Tom, they're pounding on the door to get in, and no one is pounding to get out.
Speaking of that, and we don't want to get into that big deal today, but some of our politicians were saying that these people were being made to drink toilet water down there. Well, first off, water out of whatever is new to most of these people. They don't have a toilet or a sink in the huts they come from.
Yeah.
And they weren't drinking toilet water. It was a system, and if you push the button, it's running water. Come on. Let's stop with all the horseshit.
There's a lot of fake news. There's a lot of fake news. And I guess people would like us just to open broadly open the...
We've been our brother's keeper for much too much time. All the commercials, feed this guy, feed this person, UNICEF, all the government money we've given to these countries and stuff. Let's start taking care of... We got vets here still that have a hard time finding a place to live and are not anywhere close to the way they were before they went, and maybe never will be.
Right.
But we leave them stranded and stuff. There's better, more important things that need to be getting taken care of than that. The soccer team won.
Yeah.
Which was huge, and God bless those women. They did a great job. They're cute and they're doggone good. But why does it have to turn into a win for this community or that community? It was a win for the United States.
Did you say doggone just now?
Doggone cute, yeah, they're doggone cute.
Well, some are not, but okay.
Well, but most of them are. You look at some of those other teams. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
But and it was a win for the country. And did somebody win for this community?
Buffalo, New York.
Please, somebody.
Bills, Sabres, Bills. I learned something too. There was something. I know it's very hard to believe that. They're talking about the signing of the Declaration of Independence, 13 colonies, and it had to be unanimous. And there was a lot of infighting about, no, we got to stay with the king, we've got to stay with the homeland. And finally, they put it to a vote on July 3rd, 1776, in Independence Hall in Philadelphia. And the delegate from Delaware was the deciding vote, and he was voting yay. And he was held up and nearly killed on his way on horseback. He got there late. They were ready to table the vote. He got there late because of all the delays and the people trying to stop him. Got there and he voted yay, and that was the Declaration of Independence signed.
And those people, our forefathers, laid a lot on the line to keep us from, to form our country,
Yep.
and keep us from some of the things some of these morons want to put us back into.
Yep.
So salute that flag, be proud of that flag. I was at the baseball game with the Philharmonic, and phenomenal show that was. And Scott Farrington's back. I don't know if you knew that.
I don't know who the hell he is.
Yeah, he's been gone for 3 years.
Can I just say that, what is this?
I don't know.
There's an orchestra. They're looking at their sheet
Notes.
music, right? No, you don't need a guy bopping around with a wand. I'm sorry, I'll never buy it as long as I live. They go on and on about these guys.
I closely zeroed in on that back row with the horn section.
Yeah.
The tubas. None of them were glancing up at him.
No.
But he does these gyrations. And,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But he's back. He was gone for 3 years. Quite honestly, I didn't know he was gone.
I did a stint in Africa on the
I didn't
Nile.
know he was gone, this guy.
He did the Nile Orchestra in Africa. It was huge over there.
But a great show, and that was great. It's my favorite holiday of the year. I love Christmas too, and but the 4th of July is pretty cool. And I'd like to see a little more respect come back. Maybe that's something they should teach in school. A little bit of respect.
Yeah. I just heard something too, and please, you got to take this from where what I really mean here. Okay, there was a big thing on the news yesterday about the prejudice in the Buffalo fire halls, and they went on to say that the percentage of African Americans that are firemen in Buffalo is well over 50%. And but they found one of these fire halls had a stuffed toy monkey in a fire hat, and one of the new firefighters was very upset about that and wants a complete expose about what's going on. Well, the reality is, it came out that a disabled special needs young man that was saved from a fire 15 years ago gave that battalion this stuffed monkey with a fire hat, and they hung it on the wall. Now, because somebody thought that that was horrific, the entire city of Buffalo firefighters are now mandated to go through sensitivity training again. I'm sorry. That is absurd. Okay? Absurd.
It's not bad enough they're going into these houses that have had renovations done and no one's coded it. Hoarders. All the perils that they go into in these fires and stuff, and now they got to take time out of their day to take that on.
Yeah.
I don't know where we're going, but I think I say it best. You keep bending over.
Yeah, not going to straighten up. Now, let me just make it clear. If there is real instances of prejudice, okay, which again, with over half the firefighters being African American, I'm not real sure how that could be. But let's just say there is. Maybe within the battalions there's things going on. I'll buy that, okay? But not a stuffed monkey from a special needs kid.
By the way, my son Aaron is a special needs, and he's got 3 or 4 of those stuffed monkeys. He loves them, and we have a lot of fun with them. We use the arms and sign language and stuff, so I can see it.
Yeah,
I can see that happening. That's
doesn't make
terrible.
sense.
By the way, saw a good friend of ours, friend of the show, Eddie, at the ball game at 4th of July there.
Yeah.
It was good to see Eddie.
Yeah, we said early on that we're going to have Eddie here to talk about the Braves. So we're getting real close to that, because with training camp 3-4 weeks away for the Bills, the Sabres, well, we've talked a lot about the Sabres. There's a lot of time left before that. So this would be a really good time to talk about the Buffalo Braves and some of the history and some of our stories. So we're going to get Eddie on here. Eddie, if you're listening, expect a call. We're going to set something up.
Oh, I know he'll be listening.
Yeah.
So we're definitely going to set that up. And for a lot of you people out there, you don't have no idea what the Braves were, but they were our basketball team, and they were good. Excuse me, they were very good.
Really
and,
good.
Unfortunately, there was problems with the auditorium, leasing and sharing time with the Sabres. And also, the NBA in the 70s was at an all-time low. Things just weren't going good in the league. And it's funny, but in 1980, it kicked off.
2 years after our franchise was sold to the San Diego Clippers, now the LA Clippers. 2 years later, with Magic Johnson
and Larry Bird,
it took off.
The game took off, and again, might have been one of the worst things. Well, Paul Snyder had sold the team before that.
Yeah.
But he was in a squabble with Little 3 basketball, right? And
he wanted Saturday nights,
which he had Friday nights, which is prime time.
Yeah.
And he did want Sunday afternoons, and the Sabres were squawking. Being on the ice in those days, it was tough to maintain. But it doesn't seem like anything that couldn't have been worked out if you wanted to.
I know.
It's a shame.
And I have a son, my youngest, Alex, absolutely loves the NBA, loves the Toronto Raptors, and has since they were born. Not literally because they won a championship, and he'd been going up there for years. So he was real excited, but of course they just lost their best player to, of all teams, the Clippers. And, I said, well, at least, Alex, you won something. Because you're looking at your father, and I've seen no wins of anybody I cared about.
Other, we've won a lot of the littler sports.
Yeah,
championships, but
I mean the real thing.
The two football.
Bills and Sabres.
Right, I just won, one before I cross over. I like to call it enter into internment.
Internment. Would you learn that from Tommy?
Yeah, my son's been doing a lot of work with his
funeral, right?
girlfriend's dad, who runs a funeral parlor. By the way, if you're looking to be for a real good funeral parlor, Lattimore's in Lakeshore. John Lattimore's funeral parlor.
Yeah, Lattimore and Lakeshore. The only thing is I'm wondering, has Tommy gotten into like embalming yet, or
he hasn't gotten any of that yet? But
well, he's not licensed.
He's not licensed yet, but I'll tell you what, they put the fun back in funerals. No, that was the slogan they used to when they'd answer the phone for their dad. It's
really?
Latimer Funeral Home. We put the fun back in funerals.
I don't think it was ever there in funerals. Fun.
FUNERAL.
No, I understand, but I know it's kind of strange to say.
I'll get you through this. Stick with me.
Yeah, I will. But I get it. But
I'll tell you the funny story out there. We went out to Lakeshore. They're wonderful people. We've had a great time with them. And I was talking to a bartender out there, and he said, John's one of the last guys that'll let you down.
Meaning crank you into the hole.
Yeah.
I get it.
Like that?
Yeah, you got a lot of puns today.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. Anything else you want to talk about today?
Speaking of the 4th of July, I ran into these two ladies. I was talking to them. We're talking about the political times and how bad it is and what do you do. And I was explaining to them the Democratic Party, we used to be more of a middle class.
Yes.
Now they go with the baggage way over there. And then the Republican Party, of course, is selling you that they're middle class and the union worker and stuff, but the truth is they're big business, and never the twain shall meet. And I said somewhere in the middle is what we need. We probably need a new party, and they just both looked at me like they didn't hear me.
They probably didn't.
No, they didn't. I found out later they were both totally deaf. So 30 minutes of good facts got wasted.
Yeah, I know. Make sure you know your audience first.
I should have.
Or turn on a hearing aid.
Shame on me there. Yeah. For sure, but
well, it was good. They were good facts, but yeah, nobody heard them.
No, nobody did. Quite honestly, I kind of forgot what I had said, too, by the time it was over. But it'll all come back to me again.
Yeah, well, that's too bad. Well, that's kind of it for me. What do you got? Anything else?
Not much else. Just the summer's rolling along. The Sabres have signed Marcus Johansson. They've made a trade yesterday with that defenseman, which I'm not going to try the name, but he's looks like a really good
Yoka Jarov, or no.
Looks like a real good get for us, for the Sabres. And Colin Miller, of course, and I like the VC move.
So now we have about 16, 17 defensemen. Parlay a couple of them to a real scoring center, and we're ready.
Yeah, and we also have a logjam at forward and stuff there.
You can't go there. We've been talking about that forever. They got to go. We know that.
Right.
The audience don't want to hear it.
I know they don't. Just got to make some moves there, guys.
Yeah. So I want to shout out to my son Alex, who I talked a little bit about. My son Zach and my daughter Alicia. They probably won't even hear this shout out, which is sad. I got like strangers watching, but my blood barely gets to watch it. But they're busy, because they got 4 or 5 hours on the beach.
Right.
But yeah, they're busy.
You can listen to this show.
Yes, you can.
I know my daughter Mary Kate watches.
Does she?
My wife very rarely watches.
My wife's seen like 2.
My son Justin and my son Tommy John do watch. Ryan,
But Tommy-
I think, tries to.
Tommy John doesn't tell you though, right?
No, I just hit snippets later. But all our fans, love y'all. Keep watching. And please, don't buy Nike.
Oh, Tom. Thank you for doing that because, I never, ever, ever. If you give them to me, I'll burn them. There will be no more Nike. Get it out of this country. Take a hike. Take a hike,
A
and it's
Swiss whisk.
gone.
Did you like that?
I like that. And Colin Kaepernick, how did this buffoon become like the hero of America?
He's a bum. If he was any good, he'd be wearing the shoes on a pro field instead of talking about them.
It started with racial inequality with the police, and now we're talking about slavery with the Betsy Ross flag. I've had enough. He's bouncing all over the place, and Nike's turning him into a god. Well, I'll tell you who the gods are of this country. People that give up their lives for this country and that flag.
Yep.
That's the heroes. Okay? Stop talking about Colin Kaepernick. Stop it right now.
And when that anthem plays, stand there. There's a lot of things wrong, but that's not. It's still the best doggone country. There it goes again.
God, that
in the world.
doggone.
Well, I could say something else, but I want to keep it clean.
You got to keep it clean. And I go to usher school this Saturday or Sunday, and with the Bills, and who knows? If I'm sitting in one of those aisles, upper deck, and somebody simply won't stand for the anthem,
You wouldn't.
I might have to grab him.
Oh my God.
Should I grab him by the throat and pick him up? Say stand?
Well, it wouldn't be the first time that's happened.
No, if the Buffalo Bills are monitoring my social media, I wouldn't really do
kidding.
that. But
Lead by example, though.
yes.
Lead by example. Don't be a leader, not a follower.
I
Be
remember,
the only one in your classroom standing for the pledge.
That's right.
Maybe some others will stand.
I remember my brother at a game. You're supposed to take off your hat. And he took off his hat, and then a guy around us wouldn't, and he actually said to him, "Hey, get the hat off." Now he didn't threaten him or anything, but really, come on.
Yep.
All right, listen, it's going to be tough for you to do this because it's 89 degrees out, but I need you to keep it in your nicks.
Right.
All right?
And always remember that if you can't come, call.
All right. See you next week.
See you next week.
Very shortly, in a week or two, we'll have our NBA Braves.
Yes.
All right, take care.